Well, I'm back, and as you can see, a lot of the cover has been done. Unfortunately, although I did record what I had done, we had a power outage and my computer didn't auto-save the project, so I lost everything. So I will explain to you what I've done. I found this lovely orange ribbon, and this came from, I'm pretty sure it came from my local craft store. And it was one of those in the bargain bin. They only had a certain amount left, and I used everything that I had. So I used it on corset binding, and I used it as a closure also. I put this on with a small bit of fabric glue, and then I put some tape over it, and that was just to hold it whilst I sewed around. And I sewed round and sewed through the ribbon as well. So 2 ribbons here, and I sewed through the ribbons to make them absolutely secure. Now, when I did the cross bits here, little cross stitching, I wanted it to look kind of like Frankenstein's monster sort of thing. Not very particularly neat. I didn't want it to be perfect. So what I did is I cut through some of the threads and tied it, and then each side also I tied some black thread. And that's everywhere there's a knot, there's black thread on it as well. And it's just a little bit, just to bring in that little bit of rusticness, that little bit of not perfect at all. So the other thing I'd like to mention is I don't know how it got round to it actually. I think it was with the Prima flowers. I don't have any affiliations with any products or companies. So sorry, the light's a bit I'm trying to get the light right. I don't get free products. I don't belong to any design teams or anything like that. So if I say, you know, oh, I got this product, or I mention certain places, like I think I've mentioned Frantic Stamper, Pixel Scrapper and Tsunami Rose, I don't have any, you know, these people do not know that I mention their products or their companies whilst I'm making these videos. And I only mention them because I like the products. The products fit in well with the project that I'm working on. So you can be assured that I'm, you know, if I say, oh, I like this glue or I like this company, it's because I like it. It's not because I'm getting paid to say so or because I'm getting free products. I don't get any free products. So I think the only thing I've got left to do now is to decide what is going on the cover in terms of flowers. Now I did actually remove the pink glitter from this and add some of the orange glitter. I think I am going to use it. It's very dramatic. I've taken the hair toggle off, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put through this bit here, if I can, I'm going to put a brad, and then that will go on there, a little bit of glue. I'll probably use fabric glue. I have got some spiders coming because I don't know what happened to my plastic spiders, so I'm not too sure how many of those I'm going to add. The hairband with the flowers on, I took the flowers apart because I thought these were too big, so I've just got the inner 3 lots of petals left, and I think that's more than enough. I think that's it really. Like I said, it's very not too sure exactly what I'm going to do, but I do know I want the spiders on there. It's just a matter of sort of deciding what I'm going to do. I want it quite full, but I don't want it so overpowering that you can't see what's going on. No, don't like that. So yeah, I think it's a matter of just sort of like faffing around, as my dad used to call it. Faffing. and trying to see how things go and where they're going to go. And no, not that one. I need something darker and bigger here, so I might need another rose there. So I kind of look into the screen so I can see how it's looking. And then I have to decide on what glue I want to use. I don't want to cover up this bit here. So let's lower that light slightly. I think I quite like that. The only thing I'm not too sure about is the centres of the Prima flowers. Might be okay. They're not too off, I don't think. So, no. No. And I think you just sort of, I'm going to just keep faffing around until I find what I like, and obviously I'm going to have a couple of spiders on there eventually. I mean, it may be this that's too big, I don't know. No, I want the dramatic effect of it. The way I figured it, it's got this huge corset binding here. It's got this really deep, dark orange and this effect here. So it needs to carry on with that. There's no point in having it plain now. So what I will do is I will figure out where I'm going to place everything, and then I will poke holes, because I don't just like to glue these things on. I like to have them secured through the cover so that I know they're going to stay forever. I do have some fishing line, which is basically invisible thread, which I will use to sew on some of the things I think that can't be sewn on, or I will use fabric glue. Is quite good because these are fabric flowers, and that will work quite well against the paper. So I might have a little bit of bling, but I'm going to have to sort out all the mess I've made first. So, also these were white, and I did have some Cosmic Shimmer on them, but I didn't like it. It was too silver, so I put some orange ink, a little bit, and then I used the Dylusions spray, and this is the black one. And as you can see, I got this incredibly cheaply. It was £1. And I used that to tone down the silver, and with the orange bring out the sort of like the gold luster of these roses. And I think that's going to work quite well because they look faded and they look a bit grungy. So I'm definitely keeping those. And then it's a matter of, if I'm going to use sparkles, what sparkles am I going to use and where? And am I going to use the lettering? Don't know if I'm going to use the lettering. We might do. You might hide it in there somewhere. But like I said, I don't particularly want to cover up the skull here because I think it makes a nice blank spot, so it's not so overwhelming. So I will start making my holes, and then I'll be back and see how I'm getting on. Okay, so I've finished most of the cover. Obviously the spiders aren't on there yet. You can see it's got a bit of bling. And I put the letters on. There's also a little bit of bling under here. Right. So the letters were a little yellow bicycle. Yeah, little yellow bicycle. And I just think that that kind of finished that off up there. I have managed to save, if you like, I've managed to find and sort of like get back some of the original bit when I was doing the covers, which explains a lot more about the sewing and stuff like that. So I'm going to see if I can upload some of that now, and then I'll come back and finish it off when I've got all the spiders. Oh, excuse me, it's been a long day. So I will get that piece and upload it, and then wait for my spiders to arrive. Back again, and we are having lots of mess here. So I've been going through some of my stuff to see what I might want to decorate the covers with. Okay, so I'd already put on the lace and I'd made the holes. I decided on, I had this orange ribbon, I don't know where it came from. I think I got it from Pickwell's, which is my local craft shop. And it was just one of those odd bits that they have at the end, and it was like 50p. And I used it all I had. So I used it with the black for the corset binding, and then round the ribbon I tied an extra bit of black. Then I've decided to use the same black and orange ribbon at the edge of the book here to bind it as a closure. Now what I will say is, I've got to be careful, there's a needle sticking out here because I haven't sewn yet. As you can see, I've gone in one direction only round, and I haven't quite finished yet, but what I suggest is you treat each end cover and the spine as 3 separate pieces. So do the edges around here, do the edges on the back, and do the top and the bottom of the spine all separately. As if you want to do the spine, you might not want to. The reason is, if you join it along the join here, so if this was just one long piece, it creates a lot of friction on there, and it can sometimes break or it can get in the way. It does impede it quite a bit, so I don't like to join it. I like to keep it separately. The easiest way to do these, like the cross effect, and like I said, I don't want this to be perfect. I want it to kind of look a bit Frankenstein monster stitching sort of thing. It's easy to go in one direction first and then go back and do the cross in the other direction. If you measure the edges that you want to do, so add up this side and this side, times it by about 3, and that should give you enough thread to do the diagonal, and leave yourself with, if I can get it off, enough string here, because what you're going to do is you're going to tie this in with the black or the orange, because I was going to do black, but I think I'm going to do orange again. Gives you room to tie it in, and then you pull it down here and you tape it down here, so you don't, or you can tie it together and cut it, but it actually looks neater if you just pull it down and hide it. So, and as you can see, the lines on this side are all straight, because you go up, diagonal, up, diagonal, up, diagonal, up, diagonal. So the diagonals are on the outside of the cover, and the straight lines are on, the up and down lines, or the side lines, are on the inside. I have done one side round the front, and now I've got to decide how else I'm going to decorate this, if I'm going to decorate it. I'm going to carry on with this sewing. I'm not going to waste any more of your time. And then when I've done all of this and then gone back and done it in the other direction so that they are crosses and not just lines. If you wanted to keep them just as lines, that's fair enough, but I wanted them crossed over. Like I said, or you could use a gel pen or something like that. Obviously when you start off and it's quite long, it does get a little bit tangled up, but it shouldn't be so bad that it's undoable or not doable. And the easiest way to stop it tangling is when you pull it through, hold your finger, loop the thread through your finger, so hold it lightly, and then as you pull it through it won't tangle. So put it through the hole on this side, should have had my glasses on, loop the thread through my finger and then pull it through, and that will help it stay untangled all the way through, no knots. That's about the only advice I can give you for this one, because, you know, sewing is sewing. It's a tediously boring job unless you really do enjoy sewing, which I'm not a seamstress. I am not my Miss Lizzie who can do wonders with a needle and thread. I can just do very, very basic, but it bores me. So I will do that and I will be back, and then we'll see about getting the covers decorated, and then what I'm going to do on the inside, and then using all the bits and pieces I have left over to finish off the pages inside, so just like adding little bits here and there onto the pages before I make the tags. So that's it. So I won't be long. Well, it'll be a while for me, but it'll be just a second or two for you, and I'll be back in a minute. Well, my spiders came, and although I did record, I didn't turn the microphone on, so I'm recording it again. I just used 2-part epoxy resin because they are PVC spiders. This works well. Like I said, I choose my glue on what I'm gluing, obviously. So I glued one just here, and I glued one just here, and I glued one just here, which I've also put just one string of thread round it and tied it underneath, just to make sure it's nice and secure. And that's it. All of that waiting for 3 spiders. Yeah, and they are incredibly secure, they're not going anywhere. So that's it. On to the next part. The inner back cover, I am going to have, like I said before, a large pocket. Oh, excuse me, my allergies are playing up. So this is 8 1/4 by 8 3/4, scored at 1/2 inch, and then this piece is, oh dear, 1 2 3 4 inches. So that one's 4 inches, so 4 by 8 1/4 added onto the flap, and this one is 9 1/4 by 5 1/4. On the 9 1/4 side, I just scored it at 1/2 inch each side, placed it on there, so that's the pocket for that. And inside here is all my little bits of ephemera, and I put magnets there ready to be decorated. So, and that's going there. And all I've got for the front piece so far is an 8 1/4 inch squared piece. I don't know what I'm doing. So, which is nothing unusual really. So that's it, front cover done. I will be back soon. Thank you for watching everyone. Bye for now.